Hello, and welcome to the third race of the Triathlon New Zealand Saturday Zwift League. We've got an exciting race today. We're back to a bit of a flat course. Last week saw us going around Yorkshire, the World Championship course from last year. A few punchy hills, and I just turned the volume off on my phone. There we go. If you've got any questions coming through on Facebook, shoot them through. I've got that on my phone so I can have a look. But last week saw us going around the streets of Yorkshire, punchy climbs last week, and that saw the field just get blown apart. It was won by Ollie Jones, a professional cyclist out of New Zealand, and great performances from Sissons. Liam Ward actually won out the Tri New Zealand Race League last week in what we're now calling the A+ category. So we've had quite a few elites joining us. Today I have seen on the start line Aaron Royal, Sissons, Hayden Wild. We've got Hannah Wells joining us for the first time in the A category race today for the women. She'll be up against Rebecca Clark. Sophie Corbridge. I think we might have Andrea Hewitt again today. So it'll be a nice little elite women's field. You've got Kate McElroy and Ella Harris, the cyclists, coming up against those triathletes. And also the long course guys. We've got Simon Cochran again. He's been a great supporter of the series, here for every race. Also Mark Bosted as well. And Josh Harrison. So Josh Harrison is a professional Zwift racer now. He was racing long course triathlon. He'll be one to watch. He just knows the gamification. So today it is a really interesting race in that it's 5 laps of a London Classic course. So this is pretty flat and fast racing. There's a couple of hills. I've seen a lot of people doing course recce's during the week on Zwift. So people know the game now. They know they need to know the course. What's going to be so important today are those power-ups. So every time they go through a lap, they're going to get a new power-up. Now, what you want today by far is the aero power-up. So that aero power-up will enable people to have that sprint finish and become 50% more aerodynamic. The other things you'll be looking out for is maybe a feather. There is a little punchy 6% climb about halfway through the lap. You might want to see someone doing some attacks there. Also, the hairpin corners could be a good place to throw down an invisibility power-up. So there's lots of opportunity for people to gamify it a bit more today. I have noticed clubs really getting into it. I know that North Harbour Tri Club is actually all racing in team kit now, and will be having NHTC behind their name. So we have seen some people really getting into the spirit of Zwift and what it's all about. So it's going to be some exciting racing today. We're about 50 seconds away. So like I said, this is race number 3. Best 4 races count in this 6-part series. We've got 5 laps of London Classic with a little bit of a lead in to start of about 5 to 6 kilometres, but that's not an easy lead in. They'll be going all out. They'll be wanting to find those bunches. So we're just over 30 seconds away. Great, thanks Stephen. Good to see the mic is working well this week. I'm no tech expert, but I managed to do some Googling and got some good advice on how to set up a good mic. So here we go. Just under 20 seconds away, I can see Ella Harris on the start line. We've got Josh Harrison, Ryan Sissons, Hayden Wild, Aaron Royal, Andrea Hewitt, Hannah Wells. It's going to be really fast from the gun. 5 seconds away in 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Off they go. This is going to start extremely fast. Let's move up the field. There's Liam Bird. We've got Sam Gardner. So here we go. They're in this little bit of a lead in to start until they get to the main start-finish arch, and that's when they start lap 1 proper. But this is not going to start easy. You can already see these orange numbers being thrown down on the right-hand side. That's Liam Schofield, I think it is. So you've got Sissons there. I've seen Taylor Reid actually. And those orange numbers mean people are putting in extremely high watts. It usually means a sprint. So I see Josh Harrison. He's called Snagglepuss right there. Sam Osborne. We've got Sola Kawasaki again, a young rider I've been very impressed with out of Canterbury Triathlon Academy. And here's Hayden Wild. So we'll follow him for a little bit. I can see Kath McKay. So she's an Australian cyclist. She might be one to watch for going up against Ella Harris and Kate McElroy today. We've got Mike Phillips, I think I saw an M Phillips there. So it looks like we've got another long course athlete coming out to try to hand it some flat and fast London, almost crit style racing today. Malcolm Cleland I'm seeing there from Cupcake Cartel. And I do see Hannah Wells is in this front group. So good on her for getting up there. It is a flat and fast race, and the start is very, very fast. So like I said, we're just in a bit of a lead-in at the moment. That lead-in lasts for about 6K. So a little bit of a unique aspect of this London course. You lead in and then you've got 5 almost flat laps to get to the end. So I'd be watching here. This lead-in might, once they settle down, I think it'll just sort of stay together. There's going to be big bunches out there today. You can already see some power-ups being dropped. I'm not sure that's the best time to be dropping an aero power-up. So the aero one is what you want to keep for sprinting. So you definitely don't want to be dropping it in the pack. That's not a good idea. You're not getting much benefit out of that. Looks like Braden Curry's here today as well, and it is Mike Phillips. So that's going to be quite an interesting little battle. I'm not sure if anyone watched the Triathlon Pro Battle earlier in the week on Zwift, and it's quite interesting. You had quite a few of the short course, like Flora Duffy, going up against some of the long course athletes like Lucy Charles Barclay. What was interesting is those short course athletes just had that kick and knew that bunch etiquette of staying in the bunch, not putting their nose in the wind, and then just having that all-out sprint to the end. So be interesting to see what happens here today. It might be that those short course athletes have a little bit of an advantage, but then again, I've seen some great performances from Simon Cochrane and Braden Curry, and we have seen Lionel Sanders really killing it on Zwift at the moment. So I'll be interested to see how this is going. Megan Arthur, you're not racing today. I've seen you say awesome, go Hannah Wells, but let me know if you're out there racing today. You might be in one of the categories who's starting in a couple of minutes' time. Okay, so actually, has there been a split? This group, that aerial shot is fantastic. This group looks, I mean, we've got 200 people racing in Category A this week. We've got 700, I'll say it again, 700 racing in the Zwift race this morning. So these are insane numbers. And oh, I've seen, sorry, interrupt myself, there's a Jack Moody in here as well. So I know Jack is an amazing runner. He recently, before lockdown, took out the 12K Traverse. And we've seen him all racing at Porta Tauranga, Challenge Wanaka, coached by Bevan McKinnon, and he's an amazing runner. I'm not sure on his cycling prowess, but he's right up there in the field, so I imagine it's pretty good. We've also got Ryan Kazanowski again, solid coast-to-coast racer. We've got Liam Bird. He did very well last week. So this is a stacked field, and as you can see at the moment, this pack, I mean, they're riding over 5 watts a kg. That is insane power. You can see here, watching Hayden Wild, he's up there around the 300s, dropping those watt bombs. You can see how fast they're going from that angle. And this pack at the front is probably about 50 people strong, and it's going to be savage. They are not going to be easing up. It's going to be, oh, have we got a little attack off the front? We do. Hayden Wild on this hill on a 4% has dropped a feather. He's pulling away. He's in the specialized red kit on that nice S-Works grey matte bike. Love the zip wheels. He knows about Zwift racing. He knows to get those fast wheels. He has gapped the field. He's got a 1 second lead on a few of these and 2 seconds on the rest. He is wanting to split it apart nice and early. He doesn't, look at that. Look at those red dots in the corner of your screen. It has strung this pack out. Then we've got Josh Harrison. Here's the professional Zwift racer. He's dropping 8.5 watts a kg. He is pulling ahead. He has actually gapped it as well. So maybe they've got a little bit of a 1-2 punch going on here. Hayden Wild is pulling up 7 watts a kg, 7.7. They are gapping this field right now. This is not how I saw this playing out today. Look at that gap. Oh, wow. So we've got Josh Harrison and Hayden Wild making a gap on this field. I would think they're doing a little bit of a 1-2 punch here. They know how to race in Zwift. So they are not waiting around. They're not sitting in this pack. They're showing what today is all about. You've got Sola Kawasaki, this young rider I've been very impressed with. He's dropping around 6 watts a kg. He may pull up the rest of the field. Let's have a look. They know if you go around those hairpins in Zwift, if you up your power out of those, you can gain another 3 to 4 seconds. And it looks like the pack may come back. So you've got Braden Curry in there. He is leading that chase back, and Braden Curry has gapped them and pulled them up. So we've got 1K now until we hit lap 1 of this course. So 1 kilometer, then we're hitting lap 1 of 5. So like I said, we are not messing around here. There are attacks already within the first 5 kilometers. This is going to be exciting racing today. So you can see Hayden Wild, perfect execution of that feather power up. So what he did there is on a 4% grade, he just dropped that feather and he reduced his weight by about 9 kgs. A small guy anyway, as an ITU racer, so that made a huge difference. And he could drop down those 8 watts per kg and just get the field like that. So this field is strung out. It looks like there's still a little bit of a gap there, so that it has broken down into 2 bunches. Looks like the ones behind are maybe just 2 seconds, and if they're not careful, they may drop back. So let's just go back and have a look at where this chase is. They have broken this pack. So this main group is about 40 strong, and there is the chase. So this chase, they've realized they're dropping those bombs. Kay Coetzee is dropping 10 watts a kg to get back on. They know the danger in this course. If you're not in that bunch, you are gone burger. And they've passed that start-finish banner now, so they are into lap 1 of this 5-lap course. These guys are not messing around. That was up to 500 watts a kg. I'll tell you right now, that is hard work to keep that. So what will have happened is everyone would have got power-ups now. So someone there's dropping a feather. Again, really bad time to drop a feather on a no-hill. The feather only should be dropped when there's a hill. Exactly how Hayden Wild did it. So these guys are obviously getting clued up on Zwift racing. I have seen Hayden Wild out there on Zwift quite a bit. So he is obviously getting his Zwift knowledge up. I'm seeing a lot of people on Tron bikes. So if you're wondering what those bright highlighter bikes are, they're Tron bikes, and they're actually called Zwift concept bikes. And how you get them is you have to climb 50,000 meters on Zwift. So they're not easy to get. It took me about 7 months of Zwift riding to be able to get one, but they are very, very fast. So there's a natural advantage if you can get on those bikes. Another feather being dropped. So I'm not sure who's dropping that. Again, not a good time. You can see all these people dropping the draft ones. So they're the ones that look like trucks. That is a perfect time to be dropping draft power-ups. Reason being is when you're in this massive group like this, it'll reduce the effort you're putting out by about 50%. So, I mean, these guys are riding 5.5, 6 watts a kg. So those drafts will just enable them to settle in, get into a good rhythm, and just relax. So is that Paddy Bevan? Wow. I am so honoured that Paddy Bevan is coming to race in this Try New Zealand Zwift series. Paddy Bevan is an amazing cyclist. He almost won the Tour de France time trial last year. He is unreal. He is a legit professional cyclist. Tour de France rider, amazing time trialist. Last year he was so close to winning the Tour de France time trial leg. It is just amazing. Let's just go up here. I think someone has put in an attack. Might be Pithy here. I know that he is another professional road cyclist. He's actually got a little New Zealand kit going on there, so I'm not sure. That usually means that he's a Zwift New Zealand national champion. Wow, so he's riding in this New Zealand kit. That is pretty amazing. We've got a Zwift New Zealand national champion on with us today. He will definitely know how the game's played, and he has put in a little attack. So remember to write through your comments onto Facebook. Tanya Miller, thank you. I always love how you're commenting so much, Tanya. It's great to see you on here watching each week. And D is the best cat, okay? D is a great cat. So like I said, each week I'll follow the A's, I'll follow the pointy end, and then when these guys are finished, I can roll back, and everyone else started about, at 2-minute intervals, so we can get back and watch the B's, C's, and D's during this as well. So that was a nice little attack. Maybe he was just sort of checking his legs. We have had someone drop off the back here, so I might just go back, see who's dropped off. This is a big front group of about 40 to 50, I would say. So we're making our way back that front group. That looks like Tyrone Hellier has dropped off. So unfortunately, one of our Triathlon New Zealand tribe athletes has dropped off the back here. This pace has not really settled down as much as I thought. You can see here, Coasty, he was up at 6 watts a kg. T Fuller here up at over 5 watts a kg. These are some pretty insane watts that these guys are dropping. Another feather being dropped here. Really interesting time to be dropping feathers. They're about to actually come up to a climb, so it would have been much better to drop it on this incline. So again, in that top right-hand screen, you see a little map. You'll see there that the number's going up in a percent. That just shows what percentage climb they're hitting right now. This would be a perfect time to be dropping feathers. So if it was me racing in this last lap, so they're in lap 1, but in the last lap, I'd be dropping a little feather here, putting in a little bit of a surge and trying to get a little breakaway. But let's go up near the front of the field. Braden Curry right up near the front. We've got Josh Harrison, Ryan Kazanowski. Looks like Godson's leading it here. I'm not familiar with Godson. He's from Australia. I won't hold it against him, but he's probably a great cyclist. Mike Phillips has joined in this week, so that's great. Another long course athlete. It was interesting watching him at Ironman New Zealand this year. I know he's a very, very strong runner, so we'll see how he goes in this short course style of racing. So while we're just sitting here watching the pack, just a shout out to our sponsors, brought to us by Domestique. So that's Barry Stevens. If you've seen him commenting on some of your posts, especially around the technical side of things, he's your guy for smart trainers and setups and how to get on Zwift. He'll come around to your house after lockdown, of course, and help you get set up with all the equipment you need and make sure you're firing on all cylinders. We've got Manuka Performance, so they're providing the prize packs for our league podium winners. So there'll be a few gels and a bit of hydration. So that's great. Thanks to those guys. And they've also got, which I've linked in the live coverage, a discount for all those watching as well. So you've got a great discount. I think it's around 20% on some packs of gels. So their gels are really delicious, taste just like honey. We're going to have some great spot prizes from 2XU and Essex, and also Suzuki. But obviously brought to you by Triathlon New Zealand. And yeah, we've got a great bunch of sponsors on board, and it's really good to see this turnout. I mean, not many events on Zwift at the moment have 700 people turning up to race. So really impressed and really grateful for all the support. And next week it is Anzac Day on Saturday, so we will be having a bit of a race within a race of New Zealanders versus Aussies. So keep an eye out on the Try NZ Facebook page for what that's about. And they're just finishing lap 1 now, coming into lap 2. It looks like this group of guys is about to lap someone actually, so you can see how fast they're going. Braden Curry here still averaging over 5 watts a kg. Wow, that's that's just next level. That's just insane. I mean, they're 15 minutes in here and still averaging over 5 watts a kg. Brian Cathro, thanks for that. Charlie Miller, future Olympian. Fantastic. I love that we've got some future Olympians here. Lawrence Pithy for the win. So thanks, Brad Cullen. You picked Ollie Jones last week and you're picking Lawrence Pithy today. Send through your picks for the win. I'll keep myself neutral here and not pick anyone. I'll just call it. But it's going to be interesting. I'll tell you right now, it's going to be interesting who's going to win this, especially having Lawrence Pithy, the New Zealand national Zwift champion, but also some of these shorter course athletes and Paddy Bevan, which amazed he's here. He's a great time trialist. I'm not sure of his sprint, but anyone who rides in the Tour de France, you know, is a good cyclist. So let's just have to see, eh? Good to see Lockie Boyle and Bevan McKinnon coming here to watch. So I think we do have a few fitter athletes. And we've got also quite a few of the coaches racing in Category B. So when we finish the Cat A's, we'll jump back to Category B and see what is happening in the race within a race of the coaches. So I guess a good little shout out now to where we're sitting coming into race 3. So not only do we have individual standings, but we do have our coach groups and our clubs being represented. So we've got O'Hagan Sport at the moment taking out the coach group. We've got Perimeter Coaching, which is Chris Willett, there in second. And then Foot Traffic, that's Rob Dallymore coming in third. As far as the clubs go, Canterbury Tri Club out with a dominating lead, followed by North Harbour Tri and then Tauranga Tri Club. So great work out there, guys. And I think, like I said, the clubs are really getting into it. Some of them have got their club kits. You know, they're all wearing green or red in the club, and also will have their club name in brackets behind their name. So keep an eye out for that and more of the B's and C's and D's. So it is raining here in London, so our aerial shots from the helicopter are a little bit masked by those clouds. They're just heading past Buckingham Palace now. And typical London weather, I guess, pouring with rain here in Zwift. I mean, that's going to make the corners pretty hard, and they are riding through the mall, so, or the mall, tell me how to pronounce that. And it is, you know, a bit gravelly. If you've been to London, that mall area is a bit red and gravelly. Another feather being dropped here. Not a good time to drop a feather just when they're coming up to a hill. You do want to drop those on those, you know, at least 4% gradients. Okay, thanks Ron Pithy. Paddy Bevan can sprint with the best of them. So, I mean, he is a world-class athlete. He's a time trialist and obviously he can sprint. Thanks for that, Ron. So, yeah, I think maybe he's one to watch today. He will definitely be one to watch against those cyclists. Go Rob Dellymore from Foot Traffic. Thanks for that, Claire Hopkins. I think he is racing in this category today. At some point, we will try and go back to that second and third bunches on the road. I just don't want to lose this first bunch because we will have some attacks coming. You can just see there from the helicopter images, we're a bit masked by the rain, but I know in Zwift, the rain only usually lasts for about 2 minutes. So we'll be good soon and the sun will come out. So I'd have to say now they have settled into a pace here. Jack Moody is sort of fluctuating between about 4 to 5 watts a kg. I mean, that's not really my definition of settling in, but for these guys who can really throw down those watt bombs, it will be settling in a bit. I have seen Aaron Royal here, so we'll watch him for a little bit. He has made this front group, and I did just see Simon Cochrane as well. So great work, Simon Cochrane. He's always making that front bunch. And congratulations on the new little addition that they've announced will be coming to join Tinley as siblings. So congrats, guys, and congrats, Larissa. I think I did see you watching today. And that's Liam Schofield here. We'll go through and see who's in this main pack. I think we do have a group of about 50. So you can see these feathers being dropped now. There are a lot of feathers being dropped. This is the perfect time. It was that little kick of around 6%. So we are in lap 2. So I would imagine that things will settle down from about lap 2 to 4. And then lap 5 is when we're going to see some attacks. And saying that, no, someone has just drifted off the front with their feather power up. So that is again Lawrence Pithy. So he is that Zwift national champion. You can actually see his kit is all black with the New Zealand flag on it. I am definitely going to be racing some national champs because I definitely want that New Zealand kit because that looks rad. And we've got, I think it's, might be Cassius East who's just rolled around Lawrence Pithy, and they have gapped the field by about 2 seconds. So looks like they're just lapping a rider here. That might be Louise Dumais. I think she's a coach from Tauranga actually. So she's just been lapped here. This is fast racing from this front pack. They're averaging about 45 to 47 kilometers per hour. So this is extremely fast. Braden Curry, again, it's just like what he did last time, has jumped on the front of that chase pack and has pulled in that gap. So I think people are just testing the power-ups at the moment, testing what they're doing, and just having a little fun, doing a little of work off the front, but it's been pulled in pretty quickly. But I'd have to say Lawrence Pithy and Paddy Bevan, if you see them going off the front, those could be some legit attacks. But looks as though Braden Curry is aware of that and he is pulling those in pretty quickly. I'll be interested to know if any athletes are working together. I know that my club, North Harbour, has actually got a little voice chat channel going on. So for the races they're in, they're actually on a voice chat and they will be having some team tactics. So a little hint for next week is maybe find some people around you at a similar pace and start working some team tactics. So here we go. The pace has definitely settled down. They're pulling up. There has been a break in that pack though. They're coming into lap 3 here, I believe, and there has been a break. And I think that's a big enough break. They're not going to come back. Let's go back and see where, there we go. They're 4 seconds back. So Wickens, Nisbet, Hunt, Somerville, Hayden Ralston, he has dropped back, but he'll probably put in some big watts and he'll try and catch that out. Let's see if he can come back here. Yep, try Wellington. It is looking a little bit like Wellington out there. Just a bit of just solid rain. This will be hard on these guys going around these corners, and I wonder if it will just slow them down a little bit. This chase pack is up to 3 seconds behind. Oh, it looks like Liam Ward is in that group, and that's interesting because I believe he was the winner last week, so he's going to want to get up into that pack, but it is going to be almost impossible. In these flat, fast races, when there is a pack moving this fast at 55 kilometers an hour, it is very tricky to catch up. But there has been a pack break, so there has been a pack break. Let's have a look. Yeah, they're 6 seconds behind. This is someone on their own. Nisbet's on his own. There has been a break. So who is in this break back here? Yeah, they're a bit further behind. We've got Hayden Ralston, Liam Ward, they are now around 6 seconds back. We've got someone drifting through the middle of the pack, Nisbet. That is not where you want to be. He'll end up getting picked up by the chase. So this has now broken down again. So we're into a main pack here of about 30 to 40. So about, I'd say 15 riders have now been dropped. That pace surge at the front, the little attacks put in by Paddy Bevan, just broke it up. So I think that's what we're going to be seeing now, some little surges. These guys at the end only want to be wanting to sprint about 15 to 20 riders. They're not going to want to have a sprint with 40 to 50 riders, so they're just going to put in some efforts and try and break things up, which they have now done. But it looks like all the big players are still there. We're following Paddy Bevan at the moment. He's racing quite smart here. He's just below 300 watts, around 3.9 watts a kg. He's settled into that main group. We've got Mike Phillips near the front. Looks like Cassius East. Who else have we got up here? Kotze's made that front group. Hayden Wild's nice positioning, just chilling at the back, not putting in too much effort. Kazanowski's in there. Simon Cochran has made that group. That's good to see. I like seeing our long course athletes represented up there at the front. Got Jack Moody has made it. Pithy is up there. Mike Phillips, like I said. Braden Curry has made that group. Just wondering if Aaron Royal has made that as well. There's a lot of movement going on in this pack. There we go. Okay, so this pack is just around, I'd say 30 to 40 people. And they've just sort of settled in now. So what I would imagine would happen now is, we're coming into, I think now is lap 3. So with about 30, that's still too much of a group than a lot would like. So I wouldn't be surprised if when we hit this little 6% kicker, which is just down here and around a sort of left-hand corner, I wouldn't be surprised if anyone had feathers. They might drop them, get a little bit of a break, put some pressure on and try and drop off another 10 people before we hit the penultimate lap. Then that last lap is going to be crucial. That's where we're going to see some attacks. I mean, if I was a long course athlete, if I'm good at my time trialing, what I would probably do is around that, great shot of Big Ben there, loving this aerial shot. It looks like that rain has eased too. So what I was saying was on that last lap, you could either sort of put in an effort if you've got a feather power up that little kicker, and then you've just got to hold that effort for about 15 minutes, and then you're not going to have to sprint. If you're a long course athlete, that's probably what I would do. Or you could maybe drop an invisibility power up around that last hairpin and just get a jump on the field. And when people see you again, because the invisibility lasts for about 10 seconds, they won't see you attack. Then by the time they see you, it's too late and you're up the road. But to be honest, I think with the likes of these cyclists in here and also these people who know how to Zwift race, they will want it to stay together till the end and have an all-out sprint once we hit them all. Sorry you missed the race there, Ali Boggs. And Ryan Sissons had a few Wi-Fi issues, so I got kicked out. So maybe Ryan, if you're watching this live coverage, if you could provide maybe a little insight into some of these professional athletes you race with. So tell us a bit about Aaron Royal, tell us a bit about Hayden Wild's style, tell us a bit about Taylor Reid's style, and give us some inside knowledge. That'd be awesome. So I think Ryan is sitting in first place on the league standings, but you can drop 2 races out of the 6-race series, so it is best of 4. So that's all good, Ryan. You can probably still take out the league if you just perform well in the next 2 races. So here we go. We've got 1K left in lap 3. So we'll be hitting 2 more laps after this. So this is lap 3. We'll be hitting then the penultimate lap. We might see some early attacks in the penultimate lap. If people believe they can split the pack, they will try and do that. But then all the action, I believe, will happen in that last lap, lap number 5. JT Multisport, go the Aussies. Okay, well, I think we've got a few Aussies in this main pack. I just saw a Godson, which I think is an ITU racer, as well as Aaron Royal has made this front pack. It has strung out a little at the back, so someone at the front is pushing the pace down. Let's go and see who that is up the front. It looks like Josh Harrison, our professional Zwift racer, is pushing things up the front. We've got Ben Phillips and Mike Phillips. I think there might be a bit of a battle of the brothers going on. And here we have Braden Curry. So Braden is in that red kit. And I think, let's have a look here. No, he's in the orange kit. So Braden is just leading out the front here, heading into lap number 4. So he's putting in a bit of an effort. He's going up to 6 watts a kg. This is a definite little effort from Braden Curry. But then people have come around the side. So it's just, this group is so strong, it's going to be almost impossible to do solo attacks off the front. This is where you really want to start working in with your teammates. Thinking next week, if we have a New Zealand-Aussie race, let's get these New Zealanders and Aussies to separate into their groups and work together and see if they can do some team tactics. So we do have, it looks like, Josh Harrison, Braden Curry moving to the front here. Not a good time to drop a feather power up. So I like Braden Curry's positioning. So with these races, especially because we have a few hairpin turns, you want to be up in the top third of the bunch. What happens is around those hairpins, Zwift actually slows you down as it would be in real life. And then people power out. And if they power out and you're anywhere near the back, it will get strung out and you'll get left behind. So it's important that you really stay in that top third heading into those hairpins, which we are now. We're at that place where we're going past Buckingham Palace. The Buckingham Palace is down on our left, and we're down on the mall, like I said, a bit of a gravelly red road that people are riding on. So a bit tricky sometimes to ride on this road, but now that it's cleared up and there's sunshine in London, they will find it a little bit easier in this bunch now. You'll see there's a lot of Tron bikes in this front group, so those Tron bikes are the very fast Zwift bikes. But what you can also do in Zwift, which I've seen a lot of people actually getting on and doing now, is you can go in and change your bikes based on the course. So I would be saying in this bike, you'll see a lot of deep dish wheels, like you would see in real life on a crit race, just because you can see there through those bikes, there are some zip, I think 808s. I think on this course, the 808s would be the best. They're a little bit heavier, but there's not many hills to contend with. So you'd want to ride those zip 808s here. They'll give you a good aero advantage. Just got a couple drifting off the back there. They want to be careful that they're not going to drift off too far as we hit this little hilly section coming up soon. Oh, I see what you're saying, Stephen. It's Lachey, not Lockie, as I was saying. So I think that's right, how I'm pronouncing that one. Let's have a look here. We've got Westgate, Lindsay, Solar Kawasaki. As I've said a few times, he is he's raced each race in this series, and he is a great young athlete. I think he's up for the under 19 category, might be leading that at the moment. So there are a lot of race within races here. We've got clubs going up against each other, and we've got under 19s going up against each other, males, females, and like I said, we have created an elite division, which we have our professional athletes racing against. So that's the likes of Braden Curry, Simon Cochrane, Hayden Wild, Ryan Sissons, Taylor Reid. They're in that what I'm calling an A+ category. So they're just rolling around into lap 4. It really seems to have settled down. They're hand holding a little bit now. They're just kind of coming into what I would say they know is going to be a very hard last lap of this race. So I think at the moment they're settling down. In saying that though, Solar Kawasaki has used an aero power-up. Interesting time to use it, but maybe not the worst time to use it. They're in a little flat portion. They're into a part where they're about to hit some hills. He's hit that aero power-up. He's riding at 6.5 up to 7 watts a kg. Rob Harrison though, Snagglepuss here, has massively brought that back in. He saw that straight off the bat. These guys are twitchy. They know these attacks are coming, and that got shut down very, very fast. Again, Braden Curry leading that chase pack. I'm very impressed with how he's chasing down all of these attacks. You'd hope though he's not using too much of that energy, burning too many watts, chasing these down. So we'll just see how he goes in a sprint at the end. Oh, thanks for that, JT. So giving a shout out here to our Australian athletes in the bunch. We've got Lachlan Redmond, Kurt Wesley, Aaron Royal, Dan Coleman, Luke Schofield, all Aussie ITU athletes. So I think we are definitely getting a good Anzac contingent going on, and next week's Anzac race is going to be hot. But we'll stick here with the race at the moment. We'll look, here we have Hayden Wild, Rush. And we're following Trevor's here. So let's go up and have a look. We've got Jack Moody still in this main pack. It is getting strung out though. It's Lawrence Pithy again. He has put in an attack. 8 watts a kg. He is sprinting. This is serious. This is someone you need to watch because he's already gapped the field by 2 seconds. We've got Rob Harrison chasing this down. This is a big gap to the rest of the field. Braden Curry again is chasing this down. I wonder just now if he is working for someone in that main pack because the fact that he's chasing everyone down will burn a lot of his energy and he may be burning that for someone in that group. It'll be interesting to know at the end. Mike Phillips has pulled that back as well. So Lawrence Pithy put in a big 8-watt attack there, but it has been pulled in. So we're pulling into this last hairpin. We're about to come into the 1 kilometer go of this penultimate lap 4, and then we're hitting that last lap, which is going to be fireworks. Aaron Royal is in this main group. You can see him with the little green jacket next to his name. It means he's a professional rider. Mike Phillips here. So Lawrence Pithy, he is going to be one to watch, and Paddy Bevan with those attacks in this last lap coming up. Mike Phillips is I haven't seen him much on Zwift, and I know this will be his first time racing in the league, so he is doing well in his first race. He's picked a great hairstyle for his avatar. He looks like the abominable snowman there. Big ginger whack of hair with a huge beard. I mean, I'm not sure about aerodynamics, but we'll see how that affects it. That is an amazing Zwift hairstyle he has got going on. You can see there, it just popped up on the left-hand side. You can see some of the women's results. It looks like Ella Harris is knocking it down with Hannah Wells still in that main group. Angie Wall having a great race, first time in Cat A. And Amanda Robinson, also great. She hails out of Christchurch, so looks like things are going well in that female category as well. We'll pop back once these guys have finished this last lap and just see how these guys are going. But I don't want to lose them now as we're going into this last lap. See, Westgate, G Westgate is having a good lead off the front here, so feeling good. Here we go, into the last lap. Look at those spectators standing there on the side of the road. Here we go, we're still at a main pack of about 30 to 40. There are going to be some attacks, I'll tell you right now. I'm not sure when they're going to happen. We may have the long course guys trying to attack early off the front, just because they know that they've got a little bit more of a time trial prowess to hold that off the front. Let's have a look. We're just lapping some of those Cat A riders now. These guys have averaged about 50k an hour for this race, which is insane. 33 kilometers at 50k an hour. Great aerial shot there of them coming down the mall. They've got that hairpin turn. They'll go past Buckingham Palace. Beautiful course to be riding on. Each week we pick a different course. Next week we will be going around Watopia and hitting some more hills. And then we'll finish off the series where we started with a flat and fast Crit City race. But here we are in London with this main pack. This could be where we see an attack around this hairpin corner. So we've got G Marfil off the front here. Braden Curry, he's settling in nice. He's in a good position. Liam Schofield there. Lawrence Pithy right up there at the front. I haven't actually seen Paddy Bevans. I'm not sure if he has been dropped. He might be just hiding away in the pack and then he'll put in an attack closer to the end. So here we go. This is going to be twitchy in this main group. I'll tell you right now, these guys will be watching for attacks. They'll be trying to conserve as much energy as possible as they can, but they will be wanting to be near the front because any attacks now, they need to respond as soon as possible. You can see there, watching G Marfil here at the front. He's got a good bike set up. He's got those zips. Looks like 458s on. But here we go. Some people are just pulling off the front. We've got G Westgate here. He's just upping it, just a little, putting his nose in the wind, testing it out. But he's pulled back into the pack. So here we go. This is, I'm getting nervous. How's this going to play out? Looks like it has gone, whittled down to about 30 riders in that front group. Here they round this bend. This is G Marfil just leading it out. Not a good time to probably lead it out. There'll be a lot of people that just want to sit in. Oh, I just saw Paddy Bevan just poke his nose out there at the left. So he's about midway down the pack. So let's keep an eye out. Sola Kawasaki here. He's having a great race. It looks like he is just pulling ahead a little bit. Is he? attacking, or is he just, this is where he attacked before, this is where he dropped that aero power up and got about 3 seconds, but it was pulled in very quickly. Let's have a look here. Braden Curry, oh, he's just in the middle there. He is in the orange, so he's just hiding away in the middle there. Oh, someone is just dropping off the back. It's not a time to be dropping off the back. Solar Kawasaki, he's moving his way to the front. This is getting very twitchy. This is very twitchy because you know when they hit a couple of climbs, this is where you will be dropping those power-ups. I'm not sure why someone is dropping the feather there. Not sure. Oh, here we go. Mike Phillips has dropped the feather, not at a great time. There is absolutely no hills here, so that just shows that he is a bit new to Zwift. That was not a good time to drop the feather. He should be dropping that on a hill, but he has gained about a second, but I believe that will be picked up pretty quick as they come through here past Big Ben. Helicopter shot. Here he goes. He's up at 9 watts a kg, 9 watts. He's going to hit this hill, but it looks like Braden Curry again is leading that chase pack and is going to come up onto his wheel. Let's have a look. Oh, he's up to 2 seconds. He is pushing this down, but it's dropped back to 4 watts a kg. That's not going to be enough to hold a breakaway. These guys, Braden's up around 7 watts a kg. He is going to be reined in very fast. So watch out for those people who know how to Zwift race because they will have dropped the feather now. There might be some feathers dropped now. There we go. This person knows it's Hayden Wild. He knows how to Zwift race. He knows. He is up there at the front. He is pulling up that feather and he dropped about 7 watts a kg and he gapped. That was his strategy, but I'm not sure it has worked because it has stretched out the peloton, but they're only about 1 second back. So he has pulled up. Let's see if he can work with Lindsay here. Him and Lindsay 1 second ahead. Nope, it looked like the pack has pulled up. This is going to get very fast now. We've had a few attacks that have not been able to pull away. And they're coming up to their last hairpin turn and they'll go under the big Flamme Rouge, signaling 1 kilometer go. And I think it's going to end up with an all-out sprint, and that's where we have to watch those cyclists. Here we go, coming up to this last hairpin. There is another little attack off the front here. Someone is dropping those big watt bombs. Lawson dropping 8.5 watts a kg. He might know that when he rounds this corner, if he keeps those watts high, he will get the field. Lawrence Pithy, here we go. Or Lockie Pithy, maybe. There we go. Okay, he is coming through for an attack. Following Lawson, these guys are breaking away just a little bit. But Braden Curry, again, is coming up through the pack. He is coming up 6 watts a kg. And he has pulled that in. So I believe now we're within 1 kilometer go. It looks as though we're going to be hitting a sprint. Once we hit the mall with those orange, with the red ground, is about 500 meters till the end. So that's where I would anticipate to see some sprints happening. Let's move our way up the field. There we go. We're with Paddy Bevan. Paddy Bevan and Piffy have moved ahead of the field. This looks serious. This looks serious. S-Pask from CRM, he has come through. These guys are breaking away. We've got a sprint here. Pithy is sprinting. He is putting his sprint aero power-ups here. Perfect time to use them. Look at those watt bombs being dropped. Who is going to come through? We've got Lindsay. We've got Pithy. Let's have a look. Aero power-ups. This is going to be a race between these two. Is it going to be Pithy? Is it going to be Lindsay? Pithy has come through. He is going to take it away in one of the most biggest margins of victory we have seen on this kind of a crit course. That is amazing. Those were some amazing watts. Perfect use of a power-up. There we go. Pithy taking it out. The current national Zwift champion. You can see why he wears that New Zealand jersey in Zwift. That was amazing. Looks as though Mike Phillips was close behind. Solar Kawasaki, Braden Curry, Aaron Royal. Check out the page later today for those podium spots in the Tri New Zealand League. Amazing racing. That was probably one of the best finishes I have seen. I hope you enjoyed that. And let's go back to field. I'd like to see how these women are going. Let's see if we can make it back. It might be a little tricky. We've gone back to some of the Ds. Let's see if we can make it through to some of the female As. Wow, that was amazing. That was really, really good. Kathy Miller, never seen your kids work so hard. So you're watching them on Zwift. We'll see if we can see them going through the field and give a little shout out. Okay, let's try and get back. We're in the Ds at the moment. They'll be in probably around lap 4. See if we can see any of the A's finishing. Here we go. So we've got Sheldrake, that's Brent Sheldrake, John Newsom, Tommy Zaferis. So they have made their way into a group. Liam Miller is there. Is that, Kathy, is that your son? Let's have a look. This is a nice little chase pack of the A's. We've got here Tyrone Hellier, Walsh here from O'Hagan Sport. I'm new to Zwift racing actually. Ella Harris is in this group. I wonder if we've got any other females. I wonder where Hannah Wells is actually, if she's made this front little female group. I've got Nay here. Here we go. Let's have a look at this little group coming in now. Tyrone Hellier, Liam Miller, Kathy McKay, so she's an Aussie cyclist. Ella Harris, great New Zealand cyclist. Let's have a look, see how these guys go. Bobby Cowles, this is our elite national rower. There are some sprints coming down, lots of feathers, not so useful there. Let's see who is going to win this group. Oh, it looks like A. Martin, Wild, Mort, Kay Ellen. It looks like Kay Ellen might have come through. Kay Ellen followed by Pressbury, Martin. It looks like Wild there. Hay, and then we've got McCollum, and then Ella Harris came through in the second group. Nice little group there. That was great to see actually. Bobby Cowles there as well. That looked like one of the main sort of chase packs. Looks like we're into some Bs now. The Bs here are just coming into their last lap actually. Sorry there, they weren't finishing in a sprint. They're in their last lap. So they've got a small little group here of about 7 it seems. Work our way up the Bs. Jenny Story, she actually raced, was an elite rower and then has been in the Black Sticks. So we've got a great hockey player here. Abby Natras, a lightweight New Zealand rower here with the category Bs. Martina Fellman as well, used to race some ITU racing, great triathlete. This is a good little group here actually. I wonder how they will end up. So they're just coming into their last lap. We're moving forward in the Bs here. Stephen Farrell. This is actually his first race on Zwift. So welcome Stephen Farrell. He's from North Harbour Tri Club. Coach there. He is with, we might stay with this group here. This is a great little group. We've got Warren Ross here. Oh no, Wayne Ross, go to Max. Stephen Hurdley from Gravello. So he is has done very well in Brecker and loves his gravel racing. He loves his gravel bikes. This group knows his Zwift racing. They are dropping feathers at the perfect place. Hamish Robertson, another great racer here in Auckland. Who else? Elliot Harvey, another rower. He's actually put in a little attack on this group. Diana Simpson. Oh, I'm loving this B category here. Matt Boss, who is showing here. Diana Simpson, she is doing very well in the category B rankings for O'Hagan Sport. Took out those rankings last week, I do believe. So she is really cementing her position in the league standings in this category B women's competition. I trained with Diana actually over the anniversary weekend break before we obviously went into lockdown, and we raced together at the 70.3. She beat me by a lot, so I'm gonna have to say she's a great racer. We've got Julia Grant here, so we've got a nice little female field here in the B category. Julia Grant and Dinah Simpson. It's a race within a race for that female B category podium, and they've settled into a nice rhythm here. They are coming up to that Flamme Rouge under that banner here, 1 kilometer go. This is going to be interesting to follow here. They have broken away from the pack. It is definitely a race within a race between Diana Simpson and Julia Grant. So let's follow this to the end, see how they go here in this last sprint, and then we'll go back and see how that chase pack was going, which has Matt Boss, Stephen Farrell, Rebecca Grace, I think I saw in there. Here we go. I'm quite interested to see how these guys go. We're dropping some power-ups early. They're holding around 45 kilometers an hour for this race, so this has not been going slowly. Here we go. Let's follow Julia Grant to the end. Come on, Julia. She is sitting here at about 230. She's gone up to 240. Maybe she's just pulling ahead. I think she's the one in the pink with the little orange headband, maybe. And she is coming through here to the end. She is just pulled ahead of Dinah Simpson, so that's going to make big differences on the standings. The sprints are going out. M. Grain, S. Swift, Looks like M Grain is pulling to the front of this group. Just ahead of James Matthews and Langford, M Grain has pulled out ahead. He had a great sprint finish there, and it looked like Julia did just pit Diana at the finish there. So they might have had a very tough race, and it was very hard to put in a sprint finish. So great job there. We'll go back to Julia Spark here. She's also doing very well in the league, and here she goes coming in. She might have 1 lap to go actually. Yep, she still has 1 lap to go, and she's sitting there with M speeding, and here we have Elliot Harvey. He is just finished. And this is Rebecca Clark. This is a group with Rebecca Clark, Andrea Hewitt. Oh, great competition there. So they obviously just pulled back from that front group. They're coming into this last sprint, and they just come through. So it looked like that category there, they just maybe a B's and some A's might have joined together there. Let's work our way back the field. We've had a lot of, like I said, around 700 people racing today. So this London course has been packed. So let's see who we've got here. We've got some D's. They've still got 1 lap to go. We've got Hamish Ross there from North Harbour. Paul Howes, I believe that is, and Grant Utteridge. They are working together. Nice job, guys. It's a good time to work together. Go back. It was Tracy Boss I just saw there. Perry Greenwood. So these are the D's who are coming through. So we might have some C's out there just around the backside of the course. See if we can make our way back here. See if we can find any C's that are coming through. We've got Bradley there, Perry, Maitland. These D's are having a great race. They're in their, looks like almost their last lap, or just coming into their last lap. Wow, there are so many people racing today. So we've got a nice little group here. We've got Cathro, Lavington, Goebel, Hamish Ross here from North Harbour, K Milne, Good. They've created a nice little bunch. So it looks like people have learned from last week that you put in the effort at the start and then you get your nice little bunch going. And these guys are coming into their last lap here. We've got Tracy Boss back here from North Harbour, S Collins, S Bradley. That's not Samantha Bradley, the ex-ITU athlete. There's actually 2 Samantha Bradleys. Houlihan, I think that's Shane Houlihan, Bradley. We've got Maitland. We'll try and find some people who are coming into their finishing time, but it looks like I'm a little bit stuck just around that kilometre area. So we'll stay with these guys. These guys are in their last lap. Wooldridge, Wills, Paranihi, Evans. They've formed a nice little bunch and got some good wheels on that bike. I like that. Nice little green detailing on the bike. Looks like we've got Steph Hansen watching from Wits Up. Hey Steph, if you can drum up some Aussies to come in for our Anzac Challenge next week. So we're just following some D categories here. Got Simpson, Jones. There looks like there may have been quite a few upsets today. I mean, with Ryan Sissons having some Wi-Fi issues, I mean, you'd almost say that's like what you'd call a flat tire in Zwift. So, or a mechanical or a bike crash. You know, you have your Wi-Fi issues, or you have your bike drop out. Those are the things you can't control, and you come in and you're sitting there pedaling on the start line and you can't move. That's your mechanical. You've dropped your chain, you've got a flat tire, so it adds that extra little element. So we'll say with Ryan Sisson's flat tire in today's race, he will have dropped back in the standing, so he's going to have a bit of catching up to do, especially next week, as we've seen some of those pro cyclists really come forward. But you had Hayden Wild very close up the front, as well as Aaron Royal. So it's going to be interesting to see next week. We're on a hilly course again, around 27 kilometres. I've ridden that hilly course. There are some big KOMs in there. It's not an easy one. Probably not as hard as Yorkshire. You'll be able to have a few more bunches, but it will blow the field apart. Interesting one next week for our 9 a.m. Anzac Challenge. So we'll just stay with these guys for a little bit. Rebecca Clark, I've just seen you've tuned in to watch. If you can shoot us a quick message and tell us how your race went, that'd be great. I can share it for those watching live. Remember to go into your Manuka Performance discount code, use that and have about 20% off some gels. We've got Domestique Barry, who's busy getting more stock so that when we're out of lockdown, you guys can all get your smart trainers set up. And we've got 2xU, Essex and Suzuki as well. We've got great spot prizes. We've got 2 smart trainers to give away. And we've also got lots of vouchers from 2xU and Essex. We've also had our competition going this week on share your best pain cave and suffer room, and I'll have a look at that today and announce the winner of who had the most likes and who will get that little prize pack, which is from 2xU and Manuka Performance. So keep an eye on that today, and I'll publish later the results once I've gone through and just checked all the categories and publish the top 3 in each category, and then later this weekend we'll put up the league standings. So we've had a little attack here in this D group. We're following N Wildridge, but it looked like Partridge, I think, had a little attack off that front group. There are a lot of people racing here in this D category. Like I said, around 700 today. So it's become a popular race. We started with about 450. Last week we had about 550. And this week 700. I wonder if we can get over that 1,000 in our race. That would be quite phenomenal. Let's work our way up here. There's a few going under that Flame Rouge in their last lap. We've got Maya here. Looks like a few are putting in a sprint here. It has dropped down. You can see there, just popping up on the left have been our results from today. So it was Pithy who took that out, and Mike Phillips beat Paddy Bevan in that sprint at the end of that A Elite category. That is very impressive from a long course athlete up against a Tour de France national champ New Zealand rider. So we had some great results there. So obviously that massive hairdo that Mike Phillips was rocking in the Zwift world did not impact his sprint finish. And here we go we have another sprint here, Matt Fussell here. He is sprinting through the D category. I love this commitment. I love that he's not really in a bunch, but he is sprinting out to the end. Great job, Matt Fussell. So he dropped Maya and Huskings, and then we come back and we've got a few falling in here. And I think just on the left of the screen, we're going to start to see the sprint results for that female category. I think it looked like Ella Harris took it out, but I believe I saw Hannah Wells in 3rd, so I'll be interested to see how she went. She's new to Zwift, definitely new to Zwift racing. There we go, Hannah Wells was just ahead of Kate McElroy in that sprint. Very impressive. And it looks like McKay from Australia, one of these cyclists from Australia, was 2nd to Ella Harris. So great job, Hannah Wells, really representing well here on Zwift for what would be one of your first races. So congratulations. We'll go back and see those results and see how you went in that A category. Come back here. Looks like a few people have finished here. And I believe I can now lock in on some C's. So let's get back. Here we go. We've got Dave Bedgood. He's coming through in his last lap. Oh, Jane Powell here. Great to see Jane Powell out racing. She's in her North Harbour kit, which is that highlighter green jersey. She is alone here, so it looks like she has just dropped off M. Webb and David Bedgood here from her category. So tough time to be broken off because she has only got about 2K to go. Looks like they may have put in a bit of an effort. Well, there are a lot of C's now coming in, so it'd be great. We could actually follow some of these bunches. Looks like it has broken down though a little bit into just 2s and 3s. So there has been some attacks here in this C grade race. We've got C Brown. This isn't Cameron Brown. Unfortunately, it's just a C Brown, but with David Bedgood, these guys are just coming into their 1 kilometre to go. So it has been a fiery race in this C category. It is really blown apart. I'm surprised that there aren't sort of big bunches happening here. We do have a group of 3, so they're just coming down with 1 kilometre to go. This is Wayne Ross, Hain, and Trollope here. Boyd and Kennedy. So these are the C category riders. So we've had A finish, the B's have finished, now we're up to the C's. This might be a nice little group of 4 to follow. So Rebecca Clark, she got dropped from the front group early. Then she was in a small group with Hewitt, so Andrea Hewitt and Hannah Knighton, and they rode the course together and had a hard sprint to the finish. Love it. Great to hear you guys sprinted for the finish. Love seeing a sprint finish. And Rebecca Clark said, awesome job by all the girls and guys. Thanks, Bex. Yeah, it was some fast racing. The guys in that front A group, they were averaging about 50k an hour. So yeah, pretty quick. So we've got a little sprint here in the C category. Looks as though Trollope has just pulled ahead of Boyd, and that is a good 2 second gap, and Wayne unfortunately has just dropped 5 seconds back. So it looks like Trollope will take out that little internal battle of the C's. And we'll pop back here and see, looks like Hayne is pulling ahead of his little group, which had C. Brown and JL in it. And we'll go back to see, it looks like Bedgood and Webb are having a little mano-a-mano battle here in the C category. And we've got Young and Jane Powell who have just dropped off that little pack here. And it looks like Webb has put in an effort and he has dropped Bedgood just here as they enter the mall. It looks like hard racing that people aren't able to just sort of pull up those watts in that last little bit. So here we go, head back. Looks like we've just got sort of 1s and 2s here. Oh, and Hannah Wells is watching. Good to see you, Hannah. So Bex just gave us a little summary here of what happened in her racing category A. It looks to me, Hannah, like you came 3rd in that little sprint at the end. So I'm not sure where Ella Harris was in relation to you. Can you just give us a little update, Hannah, on how your race was, how that happened in your bunch, and how that sort of last lap played out if you can? So we're just watching some of these C's come in. And hopefully, as I'm seeing people logging in to watch live, hopefully I can get some little updates from the Category A female feed. We've had Bex Clark give her update. She finished, had a nice little group with Hannah Knighton and Andrea Hewitt. And hopefully we can get some more little updates coming through on the live feed to hear how some of those other Cat A and B races played out. At the moment, we're just following Orns. I think this is Lee Ornsby here from Black Sands Triathlon Club. Great clubby, great volunteer. See him often over the summer at a swim run series I do actually. And he's riding along with Alexa Westphal. So she is moved here to New Zealand from Germany. She trains with North Harbour Tri Club as well. So these guys have got a nice little battle here going on. So I know Alexa did do a course recce. She knows when to start her sprint. So let's see if she plays it out. It looks like she is pulling ahead now. I'm interested to see how this goes. Is Alexa going to pull ahead? She needs to drop those watt bombs now. She's up to just under 3 watts a kg. Lee is playing it smart. He's jumped on her wheel. He may just come around at the end there, hitting about 200 meters to go. Alexa's pulling an attack. She's putting in that 4 and 6 watts per kg, but Lee is playing it smart. She needs it. There she goes. She upped out of the saddle, up to 5 watts a kg. She's pushing that sprint. She may have dropped Lee. I think she has. Great job, Alexa. I know last week she was a bit disappointed with her result, so stoked here to see her take out that sprint with Lee Ornsby. I think this is, we've got Green here. She's a little bit on her own. Delwyn Spedding. So I track the individual riders by, I'm actually entered in the race and I just flick through and click on those people and follow them. So what you can do is if you have Zwift and you're not racing, you can log in and join the race, but you actually don't move and you just sit here and watch people and click on their names. So that's how I am actually watching through and clicking through people, but it does mean I can only watch one category at a time, unfortunately. Otherwise I get a bit lost in all the categories. So we are just able to watch one category at a time. Just saw Matt Early has tuned in to watch. Hi Matt, we've done a bit of training together. He would have been watching his Brecker teammate today, Stephen Hurdley. Hopefully he had a good race. Hopefully he's got his bike set up well. And I know he was messaging my husband earlier this week to know what bike setup and what wheels he should get. So hopefully he got those Zip 808s. See Neil Miller, one of the Tri New Zealand board members, has tuned in to watch. And Graham Perks, also one of our board members who's been watching. So I may have to tune out here for a sec. Kids have come home. My husband took them out for a walk, but we'll just watch some of these last category C's coming into finish. And I've just had an update that today we actually had almost 800 riders. So how about we set ourselves a little challenge for the Anzac competition next week and break that 1,000 barrier. That would make it one of the biggest events on Zwift. I know Team Ineos, they got about 15,000, but other than that, the group rides over 1,000 and the events over 1,000 are some of the biggest that we have. I might tune out here. My boys are home, back to mum duty. Thanks to everyone who raced today. Hope you enjoyed the coverage. It's been an amazing race to follow today. Watching that sprint out at the end was probably one of the best sprint outs I have seen. Hope you enjoyed the commentary. See you next week and enjoy the rest of the weekend, team.